डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaste dear students, I Dr. Himanshu Patel welcome you from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. We are in lecture series for the mobile operating system. In last lecture, we have discussed general terms of operating system, general booting sequence, what is system call and architecture of operating system. In today's session, we will learn about comparison between monolithic and microkernel architecture, exokernel architecture of operating system and hybrid architecture of operating system. So, let us start with comparison between monolithic and microkernel architecture. On screen you can see the comparison between monolithic and microkernel architecture. So, the first column indicates the functionality, second column indicates what it does in monolithic architecture and for that functionality how it will work in microkernel architecture. So, first start with work. In monolithic architecture, all kind of functionality are executed in single space called kernel space that we have discussed in last lecture. If you remember, in microkernel architecture, all essential functionalities are executed in kernel space and all non-essential functionalities are executed in user space. So, this is the first difference between the working of monolithic architecture and microkernel architecture. If we consider the size of kernel, so in case of monolithic kernel, it is large in size and in case of microkernel is small in size. Why? Because it divides the essential and non-essential functionality in two parts. One is in kernel space and other is in user space. So, microkernel size is small. If we consider execution part, then we can say in monolithic architecture execution is fast, but since microkernel divides its architecture in two space, it is slow in execution. Let us consider extensibility. So, because of my monolithic architecture works only in kernel space, it is very hard to extend monolithic architecture, but you can always add essential and non-essential functionality in kernel space or user space as per your requirement. So, we can say microkernel architecture is easy to extend. Then consider the security part. Now, in case of monolithic architecture, if any service crashes, the entire system crashes, and in case of microkernel architecture, because the essential and non-essential functionality is divided into two parts, if any service crashes, it does not affect on the entire system. It depends whether it is essential functionality or non-essential functionality, right? Then what operating system are using these architectures? So, example is given on screen: Linux, FreeBSD, Microsoft Windows 98, Microsoft Windows 95, Solaris and DOS operating system use monolithic architecture, and all modern operating system Symbian, L4 Linux, Mac OS and Minix, these are using microkernel architecture. Now, we have discussed two architecture, right? One is microkernel and another is monolithic, and we have also discussed the comparison between the two. Now, we are going to discuss third architecture, which is exokernel architecture. everyone knows that operating system works as an interface between user, applications and hardware. Now, user applications need to send hardware instruction to operating system, and operating system passes these instruction to hardware on behalf of the user and send back the result. This working methodology of kernel makes the lives of application programmers easier. Along with this, they also realize that giving so much abstraction to developers affect the performance of application. Applications that run on such architecture suffers with slower execution of functions, resulting in performance issues. Now, to solve the performance issues, MIT provided new system with the concept of kernel with minimum functionality and provide access of resources to application developer as well. This architecture is designed to separate resource protection from management to facilitate application specific customization. Now, this kernel is called exokernel. In other words, exokernel works as an executive for application programs. It ensures that the safe use of resources and allocate them to applications. Here, new concept library OS is introduced in exokernel architecture. The library OS requests the exokernel to allocate resources like disk space, memory and CPU, etc., and use the resource in the way it suits the application. For an example, an application can manage its own disk block cache. It can also share the pages with the other applications, but the exokernel allows cache pages to be shared securely across all applications. Thus, the exokernel protects pages and disk blocks, but application manage them. Now, let us try to understand in figure how exokernel architecture works. So, here on screen you can see the exokernel architecture. You can see in the figure that the applications are interface with library OS, and on behalf of application, library OS communicates these with to exokernel, and exokernel is responsible for managing hardware resources, and exokernel works in kernel space, but library OS works in user space. So, this is how exokernel architecture works. The performance of system will increase significantly by this kind of architecture. It has drawback also. Its interface design is too complex and system consistency is very less. So, exokernel was developed in 1994 by MIT. They developed two exokernels, namely Aegis and XOR. This concept has not been used in any commercial operating system and still research is going on. So, we can say this is a proposed model. It is not actually used in practical because of its complexity, but it is a proposed by MIT in 1994 and still research is going on for improvement of this architecture, but till date it is not used by any operating system. So, now we have three architectures: microkernel, monolithic and exokernel. Now, we are going to discuss fourth architecture, which is called hybrid architecture. Now, what is hybrid architecture? Let us try to understand. many operating systems are not based on one architecture model of operating system. They may contain combination of architecture of multiple operating system that have different approaches to performance, security, usability, needs, etc. Now this is known as a hybrid operating system. Now what does it mean? It means that it may use not only monolithic, microkernel or other, but it may have combination of both. Kernel having the mixed approach of various architecture is called hybrid kernel. The hybrid kernel attempts to combine the features aspect of microkernel and the monolithic kernel. What does it mean? This means that the kernel structure should be similar to a microkernel, but the structure should be implemented like a monolithic kernel. That is why it is called hybrid. A well-known example of the hybrid kernel is the Microsoft Windows NT kernel. It is called a hybrid kernel instead of a monolithic kernel, as the emulation subsystem run on the user mode rather than the kernel mode. Unlike in monolithic kernel, the anti-kernel cannot be called a microkernel as well. This is because almost all the system components run on the same address space as the kernel, which is a feature of the monolithic kernel. So we can say it is a combination of monolithic as well as microkernel. So let us try to sum up. Now in this unit, in last 2 lectures or entire unit, we have learned about the booting sequence of operating system, concept of system call and various architecture of operating system. Now let us quickly review the main points of these last and these lecture. So BIOS is responsible for the basic input output operation. At the time of switch on, the set of instruction that load operating system for hard disk to main memory is called bootstrapping. System call is responsible to interact with hardware and other resources. Device management system call, file management system call, communication system call, process control system call, information maintenance system calls are the type of system calls used by operating system. In the monolithic architecture, all kinds of functionalities are executed in kernel space. In the microkernel architecture, only essential functionalities are executed in kernel space and all non-essential functionalities are executed in user space that we have discussed. Now to increase the performance in the microkernel architecture, a new architecture is invented called exokernel architecture, but unfortunately it is not used by any operating system. A kernel having the mix aspect of various architecture is called hybrid kernel architecture or hybrid architecture. Now what we have learned, we would like to test. So there are certain self-assessment exercise for you to test your knowledge. So let us start with that. How much you have understand from these 2 lectures? Let us start with first question. Now if you remember, the what is the BIOS stands for, or what is the full form of BIOS? So it is a basic input output system. That is the correct answer. Now let us come to next question. The set of instruction that load the operating system is called, we have just discussed before, it is a nothing but bootloader, and this process is known as a bootstrapping that we have discussed just now. The third question is the set of instructions that are not directly executed by the user but need to pass by the user is called, if you remember, it is privileged instruction. So, the right answer is privileged instruction. Now, again similar to BIOS, what is full form of POST? So, it is nothing but power on self test, and it is the test immediately performed when you switch on the power. So, the full form is power on self test. Now, let us move further. Privilege instruction are also called. So, the answer is system call. Now, there are other questions also. To manage the attached hardware, blank system call is used. So, there are 4 kind of system calls that we have discussed in conclusion. So, if you remember, to manage the hardware, we have device management system call. Its name is similar to its functionality. So, for hardware, we have device management system calls. Then, to manage the files, which system calls is used? So, it is again similar to its name, file management system call. Then, similar to earlier to manage the process, which system call is used? The answer is process control system call. And finally, to manage the user, which system call is used? So, there are 4 system calls, but only one remains, which is information maintenance system calls. So, these are the various types of system calls. Now, we have compared monolithic and microkernel. So, which architecture is large in size? So, the answer is monolithic, because everything is in kernel space, that is why its size is large. The justification for answer is this. Then, which architecture is slow in execution? The answer is microkernel, because its functionality is divided into 2 parts, its execution is slow. Then, Linux is example of which architecture? So, we have in comparison, the last point was examples. So, if you remember, Linux use monolithic architecture. Now, Mac is example of, obviously microkernel is the answer, and exokernel was invented by, the answer is MIT. A kernel having mixed approach of various architecture is called, obviously hybrid kernel. So, the answer is hybrid. I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्यायः परमः